Hello, 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 hello. My name is Davon Williams, and this is The Receipts, episode 7 of season 1, How to Be an Ally. That's everything that we're talking about today. So instead of doing this thing that I notice a lot of shows do, they do a lead up, they do everything else, I'm going to give it to you straight. In the beginning of this episode, I would like for you to share and spread this because anyone that is looking to be an ally needs to hear this. The rest of this show is us just exploring what all of this means. But right now, at the start of the show, we're getting into how to be an ally. Can I get that graphic? Not graphic, like little thing off there. So starting with how to be an ally, can you bring up the picture? If you saw episode 1 of this show, then you saw this quote from Shelley Williams' Facebook. Can I get the how to be an ally slide? Dear Broadway, a true statement of recognition and solidarity has 3 components. State the problem, own your responsibility, express how you can be part of the solution. We can take it down. Now, this show, once it's done being live, it stays there. You can go back and you can pause that. That is it. It's that simple. Those 3 steps. That's what we're exploring today. Now, let's talk about how this gets a little complicated. There is a queen that I would like to acknowledge, and her name is Tanya Pinkins. Can we get Tanya Pinkins 1? She wrote a manifesto, probably a 25-minute piece. And all I thought was, am I reading this or is it reading me? And Tanya says right there, why I am fed up with performative activism from white and black theater makers. We can take it down. Anyone that is in this business and is being observant right now understand that it's a problem. They understand that probably every other week there's a new message, there's a new Instagram initiative, there's a new Facebook thing, and it is overwhelming. So Tanya Pinkins said, you know what I'm going to do? We're going to talk about performative allies. Lord, I'm so excited. So let's go to Tanya Pinkins number 2, allyship. There we go. In this article, she says something very interesting. Several of my white friends reached out to apologize for having been insensitive to my ongoing protest about racism and oppression. All I could think or feel from their well-meaning attempts is, so it takes a global uprising for you to believe me? Oh, God. Read, Queen, read. Now I ask that same question of the theater owners, producers, writers, actors, designers, union leaders, artistic directors, and ad agencies. So it takes a global uprising for you to believe me. We could take that down. The show is called The Receipts. At this point, when it comes to allyship, it's not so much about what you're doing now, which is also vital, but it's also about your track record before. And if you don't have a track record before, and now you've just woken up to it, you still have to pay for the sins of the past. Moving on, Tanya Pinkins 3. We don't need another committee, organization, and group. Now, I picked this one because in a past episode, I said the same thing, this entire paragraph, but it's always nice to hear it from a Tony Award winner. We don't need another set of rules. We need individuals taking action in the moment. Let me say that again. What are you as an individual going to do the next time a producer, director, authority figure suggests or demands something from you which you find offensive, oppressive, racist, downright abusive? If you're going to run to the group and the rules and the plans, history has no use for you. I don't have a following. I don't. Because when I was coming out of college and I started getting a little bit of attention, my shyness, I was really shy, I'm still very much an introvert, kicked in. And I found that there are people in this industry who can have a career where you don't have to be seen all the time. I ghost wrote, I sold a lot of my projects under different names and things like that. And that's how I made ends meet. And then when that was done, I would go overseas and play on yachts or do little contracts like that. And that was the life. However, in a moment like this, there is a certain level of regret that I have. And the idea that knowing that I have a background in politics, knowing that I have a background in all this stuff, knowing that I've worked for a lot of people in the industry and at this point should be calling favors, I chose not to until now, until I saw George Floyd, as Tanya Pinkins says, snuffed. It doesn't matter when you start, just that you start. Again, I don't have a following. I've never been big on the attention thing, but now I know it's my job to step up. Nicki Minaj, someone that I referenced in a TED Talk way back when, came up when she was getting really popular and point blank said, I am not a role model. Which, like it or not, when you have a large following, there is a social responsibility. And we're seeing the effects today of what happens when people don't take it and use it. Yes, there are burdens. Everything costs something, even fame, even attention. There is a cost to everything. There is a reaction for every action. Can we get the next Tanya Pinkins? Rashad Robinson, the inspiring leader of Color of Change, said, "We must not confuse presence with power. I asked him if he meant what I thought he meant. He told me, unwritten laws, the unwritten cultural rules, are as important as the codified ones." Man, I really should have blown this up a little bit more, but I got that word, didn't I? Codified ones. How do you behave when no one else is looking? We could take it down. It's very easy to do things when eyes are on you. But what we've learned when you pull people's data, I've seen, Black Theater Girl Magic. They did a really good job of pulling data with the Joy Jackson Initiative. And what you found is people talk a lot, but when you break it down to the hard numbers and facts, it's not always the case. And the truth is, those are moments when there aren't always eyes. People can perform all they want, but the truth inevitably comes to light. Moving on, Tanya Pinkins. In 24 years, how many times have you exercised the power to remove yourself from the rooms and the people that would oppress you? And if you chose to stay, what assignment did you fulfill? We could take that down because right now I want to acknowledge one of our guests. I was doing research for the show, and I had came across this video of Vinchell, in which Vinchell hosted a town hall. And let me get the exact name of that. The Philadelphia Black, Queer, and Burlesque Town Hall, which I think is mandatory viewing. I'm going to say it again. The Philadelphia Black, Queer, and Burlesque Town Hall. I think everyone should watch it. It is unreal. Vinchell and her team got these owners of bars and clubs in Philadelphia to come forward and take on the sins of the past. And one thing I want to highlight, and it goes with what Tanya Pinkins just said, can we play Protest?
Brandon, I do think that Jeff, since you're online and you're listening, I do think that we need to have for the event staff, as you see, but down below, there's no one of color that's on the event staff. We need to have people in the event staff, and until that happens, I will not be doing any kind of. I won't be doing verse at Taboo. You have this on record. I will not be doing any. I will not be hosting any shows at Taboo unless Brandon either steps down because of what these accusations are, because that's a huge accusation.
No, absolutely.
And a lot of people have said that. So until Brandon steps down and until we get some more people of color on the event staff, me personally, I will not be performing at your bar as hosted.
To be honest, I will absolutely step down.
Okay.
In this moment, I will tell you that absolutely. That was never an intention of mine. And I absolutely apologize to everyone that I might have hurt. It's not
that you might have hurt, or that you did.
No, I mean that I hurt. That I absolutely hurt.
When I invite the panel on, point blank, I'm just going to ask, when's the last time? And of course, Vinchell, we just saw it. When's the last time you've put your career on the line? When I first created the receipts, I got a lot of blowback because people were like, your career, if you say the wrong thing, they'll blacklist you, they'll do that. And someone said, you don't want to be Tanya Pinkins. Someone said, you don't want to be Monique. And sometimes I think that's the real challenge. You can talk the talk, but would you put it on the line? For anyone that's a Christian, let me translate that for you. Would you be a man for others? Would you follow the path of Jesus Christ? And if you are a Christian, then you should already be ready. Another interesting thing, I'm going to move on, is this idea of manipulating racism. Can we play games from episode 1? Then I looked at the people who were spreading the message. Some people who were running for office, some people who aren't running for office. And again, I kept looking at this person who originally sent me the messages, a white woman. And she wasn't saying anything publicly. But her Black friends were, because she was the one fueling them. And here we are getting upset. Here we are getting loud. Here I am going into groups going, can we talk about what's happening here? My message is getting deleted. Me threatening, me getting threatened of being banned. And then I thought, oh my God, even in a moment like this white liberal woman is using my Black property. And I got furious because it seems like both sides were playing, some to campaign, some were probably genuinely doing it. But as more people kept giving me stuff, I said, well, let me go to your page and see what you're doing. Let me see the protest that you are attending. Let me see this. And what I saw more often than not was effective campaigning. What I saw more often than not were people who wanted to show me that they cared and that they were about it, me directly, but not publicly. And at this point, I'm not here for any more of it. That's episode 1. There was an AEA election taking place. There was a guy who had some insensitive tweets and racist tweets, sexist tweets, nationalist tweets. And the idea of the show was to figure all that out. But what this white liberal woman wanted me to do was to take him down for her. She won her election and she won her seat. And I'm coming for you, bitch. But I'm not sorry. I apologize, but I am coming for you. Let's talk about Alice Ripley for a second. Can I get Alice Ripley? Tony winner Alice Ripley gave a TED Talk. And for everyone that's saying, I'm nervous, I don't know what to do, her TED Talk is about making magic, and it applies here. She says, preparation is key, rehearse conversations, read a room, avoid preconceived notions, and be vulnerable. It's that easy. As in, if you feel like it's too much, follow her steps. Again, you can play this video back. You can pause it. You can look at her entire TED Talk. You can do anything you like. And I want to put it into a different perspective. Someone sent me an Instagram page for research purposes. Can I get Kevin Camel? Or is it Kevin Kamel? We'll find out. Kevin Kamel, again, for research purposes, we came across this Instagram page. And if you see, I know everyone's looking right at it. Everyone sees it. It is right. Where? See, this is what gets really, it's right here. You see it right there. How to be an ally. Could I get Kevin Kamel one? There. So on his page, his very educational page, it says what it means to be an ally. Can I get the next slide? Acknowledge that you have no right to tell Black people, and I'm going to say BIPOC people, how to feel or protest or express their pain. Can I get the next one? Pass the microphone. Listen more. Talk less. This is a moment where you don't have to comment in the comment section unless you feel compelled to do it. You can completely stay quiet and listen and take it in. You don't have to prove anything. No one ever has to prove anything. It's all about action right now. And with that being said, stop sharing videos of Black murders. Acknowledge your privilege and how you have benefited from it. What can you do to pay it forward? I have an idea. When it comes to people showing their activism, what I tend to find is that we're more so performing for other people. And I want to introduce you to someone. Can I get Paula Kenny one? Or is it Kane? Let's just call her Paula. We don't need her full government name. Everyone, meet Paula. This is Paula. Let's just take her in for a little bit. She got some flowers on her shirt. She got black. Oh, she's looking, she's just smiling in what looks like to be a lobby of a hotel. Why not? Here's something that happened June 8th. This is before the show started. David O'Connor, popular person, popular playwright, popular director in Philadelphia on June 4th goes, "Good morning, Black Lives Matter." That's 175 likes to this day, 83 comments. Paula, right underneath of it, could not help herself and goes, "All lives matter." Now, anyone that has a Facebook or any type of social media has seen this. We've all seen this. And to the surprise of no one, Paula got roasted. Can we get the next one? Some of the things said, this is one of the nicer ones. Paula obviously is just another Karen. I want to take this moment to say that I fully endorse the use of the word Karen. I think it's really funny until we find out that it's actually incorrect and I've been wrong, in which then I will apologize. But for now, Karen will Karen all the Karen day. Can I get the next Paula? I wanted to try an experiment here, and this is before the show started and everything else. Paula, hey everyone. I don't like what's happening to Paula here. Now, isn't a time to score points. We are in the middle of a revolution and Paula hasn't gotten the briefing. Paula, can we privately meet? Can we set a play date over? And then it goes on. Paula, to the surprise of me, sends me a message and says yes. So at this point, I'm talking to Paula and we're trying to figure out like what exactly happened. It took 10 messages for this experiment, 10 messages back and forth. Well, 10 messages from me, probably 10 or 11 messages from Paula. And let's see what Paula did on June 8th. Good morning. Black Lives Matter. David O'Connor, of course, says he appreciates this. I, for one, decided to get out of bed because I am lazy. And Nancy McDonald, who I also do not know, said you are awesome. We could take it down. I think in the same way that we're challenging what we perceive as the other side to be better, there are so many of us who are ready to roast and toast and knock it out. And we have to acknowledge that there are people who are older, there are people who are living under rocks, there are people who are growing up in racist situations or swimming in a pool or growing up in a culture of racism that will struggle to get it. We have to check ourselves if we want to be part of the revolution. Everyone doesn't have to be out here ready to slit throats. And with that said, I'm going to get off my soapbox and I want to bring in our panelist. Everyone, please meet Willem Belli from A Star Is Born. Hey, Willem, how are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm going to introduce Zara McIntosh from Six the Musical at the West End. The Body, the Face, the Grace. Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Let's get this out the way. Can we get Six the Musical? So we just found out yesterday, the UK drive-in tour for hit musical Six axed due to local lockdown concerns. We could take that down. In solidarity, Zara, I will be drinking the Cavazier for you. I will pass the Cavazier and I will share. What are you drinking tonight?
Oh, she's not really that classy. Malibu and tropical juice. A wine glass with a metal straw, safe for sale.
So we'll call it a celebration. We'll be celebrating your free time and we'll be doing it during the show. Okay. Congratulations, girl. You got free time during quarantine. Zara's currently in England. Where are you exactly?
Cambridgeshire.
Cambridgeshire. Okay. I have no idea.
Just not.
Willem, you said if you get a check, if you've got a check, I've got a talent from your book Suck Less.
That used to be the case. I've turned down some things since that were roles that I could have played that I shouldn't play anymore. So that's mostly true. But good. I also take cash. And you can pay me in hair, bundles.
Bundles of hair.
Yeah, but I'll do anything. I used to be a hooker. Now I'm an actor. I write books. I'll do anything, literally. Give me a check.
Sounds the same. It sounds like you're in the same field. Abdullah Abbey Hall, come on out.
Hello, everyone.
Hello,
Thank you.
hello.
Thank you.
Abby,
Oh my gosh. Go for it.
you are the artistic director of the Trans Chorus of LA.
Yes, I am. The Trans Chorus of Los Angeles is the premier and largest chorus in America made up of trans men and women, gender non-conforming, gender non-binary individuals like myself, those odd people who go by they, and intersex individuals. And we lift up the trans community through our voices collectively and sing, and didn't know we were becoming activists at the same time.
Now, I could ask you about this interesting idea that you are also a Muslim American, but I'm going to opt out and say, can you stand a little? I want to see that necklace. That's beautiful.
Oh, gosh. All right, wait. Come here.
Oh, there we go. See,
If you can see the full effect of everything.
Yes.
Come on,
Sure.
Sofa.
Everything. All
Thank
right,
you.
great. I'm happy we went that direction. And now we're going to pull out Vinchell, the producer of Black Girl Magic Philly.
Hey, y'all.
Vinchell, let's talk about this protest video, because I was you said right then and there, I will not step foot. And in the same clip, less than probably 2 minutes, he said, I will step down.
You know what? It was so funny. I did not expect you to show that. I was like, oh, you got me. I was a Real Housewife moment. I was like, oh.
Call the receipts.
Okay, the receipt was out, honey. Okay,
My chair just broke. Shit.
See, it's that. See, the town hall. That's how shaky it was. No, it was definitely very interesting to deal with that and to deal with that certain bar. That certain bar definitely has been very problematic. Not only to me and not only to Black performers, but also to trans performers as well. You know, with the pay and stuff, it's not fair. I'm so happy that we were able to call that out. And I was so grateful and happy to do that town hall, because I felt like we were able to hold a lot of people accountable. Now, did people actually come there prepared and apologize? Maybe not. But,
I'm happy you brought that up, because that is one of many receipts that we might be pulling today, because I am so impressed by all of you. Like, again, this was a very deliberate panel, just because I think all of you have done a form of allyship in the work that you're doing. And don't worry about it. We're going to get to it today. Will, are you looking up in the sky like, what did I do? Did you just look up like, what did I do? Did you just take a moment?
I've been canceled like 4 or 5 times this quarantine alone. And like, I'm not looking
You're fine.
Yeah.
Willem's like, I'm happy to be here, honey. Okay, yeah.
Like, I remember Eye Candy and how problematic they were, and then all of a sudden Shangela was there, and then everybody's like, "Oh, it's fine now to go there." I'm like, "No, it's not. They're still working there. He still owns that." Like,
yeah.
Girl,
We have lots that we can talk about that now. Child.
This is going to be a Philly heavy episode for everyone watching, because when you're talking about allyship, why not Philadelphia? I would like to start with, can we play E and C? Only because don't play it yet. I want to play this because I think this kind of gets to the root of what a lot of these problems are. Can we get E and C?
Pardon me. I know how to play the game a little bit better. Mm-hmm. I know how to maneuver through life and not boil everything down to like one ignorant act. Mm-hmm. Like right now, I think in our country, we are so lacking empathy and compassion. Right. Yeah. Just empathy and compassion.
Abby, can you explain that clip? What you mean by what you said?
So that was a clip from this great group called the Mankind Project. And the person interviewing me was Anne-Marie Johnson, which you guys know from What's Happening Now to everything. She's been on television for everything.
Nurse Jackie, right?
Yeah, Nurse Jackie. And Richard Stellar. And so that was she was asking me this question about being Black, non-binary, queer, Muslim, and Christian, because my mother decided at the age of 40-something to leave her Muslim family and become a born-again evangelical Christian. And then have this queer-ass child. This is probably why she took me out of Philadelphia, is to get me away from that, because she knew, oh, you can't survive in Philly like this. But that question was, we have to know what's going on nowadays. We have to know just where we are, and how we're viewed. And there is a part of that game that's out there, you know, whether you're running a course, whether you're performing at bars, whether you're on, you know, the London's West End, I think it's right. You know, you have to know the politics that you're entering into, because they've chosen all of us because we do represent community, color, and as well as, like, you know, we're the ones that they can get along the most with and be able to talk to without, like, me going full, like, I do come from Philadelphia and South LA, and I can go all the way to that ghetto side if you choose, you know? So that's where that was coming from. And I love that question that she asked, because a lot of people like yourself, Davon, don't want to talk about Hollywood in that general, like, the real way. I worked for 20 years at Paramount Pictures in business and legal affairs, and I've seen some things. And now I'm at a point where I'm like, I'm giving the tea on all of that, because this whole thing of Hollywood saying, we want more diversity, and oh my God, Black Lives Matter, and it's jumping on a bandwagon. Listen to how Hollywood speaks when it comes to BIPOC, when it comes to trans identity. It's very double talk. And if you listen to the way they're presenting it, you will be fooled and think they're opening up doors, when actuality, in a way, it's closing other doors. So I love that you put that clip up there. I didn't know you were going to do it, but I love
it's
that.
The receipts. I'm joking. But speaking of clips, Zara, I would like to introduce you to something. I would love for you to read a story for me. Is that okay? Just because I love that accent. I live for your accent. It is the core of our friendship. I'm joking. In that clip, you talk about compassion. And let's just do a quick little test. This is called We Have a Problem. Can we get the story of Richard Rose? That's Richard Rose 1. It's coming. All right. Zara, feel free to read what Richard wrote. Oh, Zara?
She said she can't hear.
We lost Zara. Okay, I'm going to read it, and then I'll bring her back.
Hello.
Zara, can you hear me? There's always, whenever we go overseas or international, there's always something. While we work on Zara, I'm going to read the story of Richard Rose. Everyone pay attention. Let make this clear, and I'm going to read it just like he wrote it. I'm not buying a fucking mask. I've made it this far by not buying into that damn hype. Can I get Rose too? It's not, if non-essential was a human, that is. Quick quiz. Anyone want to name who that is?
Colin Kaepernick.
There we go. Colin Kaepernick. There you go. So far, so good on the quiz. This is May 12th. I've gotten sick of turning my TV on to political smear ads and shit about COVID. So yesterday, I turned my cable box in. I've also started using people on here. It's time to block out negativity. Next one. So kids, what did we learn during the lockdown? There's only two genders, asshole. Michelle Obama is a man. I'll fight him.
Oh my God.
2020. The mainstream media is a bunch of retards, and that's bunch of. All right, next. This is July 1st. Richard Rose. I've been very sick the past few days. Symptoms of COVID-19. I'm sorry. This morning, I finally got swabbed. I should know soon what the results are. I just want to feel good again. Can I get the next one? Well, I'm officially under quarantine for the next 14 days. I just tested positive for COVID-19. Sucks because I had just started a new job. Can I get the next one? This COVID shit sucks. I'm so out of breath just sitting here. Next. Richard Donald Rose obituary. July
Oh, I didn't know.
4th,
I didn't know it was going that route.
Me neither.
Here's
Well,
something.
I'm
Here's
glad
something
you turned in that cable box because Spectrum will get you.
Here's the question.
I'm done.
Do we
I
care?
was going there.
Do we care?
No, not really.
I got better stuff to care about than a dumb dead guy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. Like your first couple of like statuses or whatever, like your post or like, you know, fuck your mask and all kind of stuff. But then all of a sudden it's like, oh, feel bad for me now. I can't breathe sitting here. And it's like, child, I can't.
There's the humanistic, empathetic part of me that says another life is gone. But then there's the other part that looks at like his flagrant way of thinking this isn't a real thing, or just, you know, whether you think it's a pandemic or not, something's going on. So just wear a mask. That's it. That's all they ask. And I don't feel like sorry because of this happening. They wanted this. They actually got the answer from the universe that they asked for. You know, if you think about it.
I would like to bring in a white ally. His name is Joshua Harvey. He is Southeast Missouri State University instructor of musical theater for the Janine Larson Dobbins Conservatory of Theater and Dance. Please welcome Josh.
Hello.
Thank you for being an ally. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me in this space.
All right. I would love your thoughts on our Richard Rose story.
I think the struggle for empathy is real in those situations. I mean, I want to have a lot more sympathy. I want to have a lot more compassion. I mean, in his tweets, we get ableism, we get, you know, every ism that you can put out there: racism, ableism, phobia, you know, transphobia, everything. So, you know, it's really crazy that I'm on here, and this is the introduction because I'm in the middle of Trump country, in between Memphis and St. Louis, so right in between. And you know, his commentary is basically the local news feed. You know, anytime the news posts something for our local TV station, that's what it looks like.
I would love to know, Josh, because I got that story researching you off your Facebook page. And I thought that was very bold. In Trump country, how do you execute the task of being an ally?
Man, I mean, I use a couple different strategies. Some are more compassionate than others, you know. You know, you probably found that example because I wrestle with that because you know, as Abby said, I'm totally like, I want to have compassion for where that person's journey has taken them, but it's still another death, you know. But I tend to troll a lot in terms of the comment sections of articles like that, just to see what the arguments are going to be. And as an educator, I want to see what those arguments are going to be so that I can start developing counter arguments, and then to see how you know, how I want to respond to that with students. I work on a fairly conservative campus, except for where I work immediately is a fairly liberal place, and it's an arts campus. So we run the gamut, and it's mostly a supportive environment, but we still have our problems because of, you know, whiteness in America and where we live. So, you know, because that's my main focus is teaching, I do get people that bring those sorts of arguments into the classroom.
I want to do another quiz, if that's okay. Is that okay? I would love everyone to complete this phrase, but let me give it context. Name that song. Can we play that? Name the song. Yes. Oh, well, we got Abby back. And now name the song. Okay, we're having some technical difficulties because it's the internet. While we wait for that, I would like to ask, can we play Tokens?
Is enough. We had some choristers that were like, great, let's do it. And we did have a few people that were like, well, are we being tokenized? Are we just being used as a great philanthropic product placement? You know, that's the packaging that we're putting out there. And I like to say, well, it depends on what you want to use your activism for. You don't always see a trans person doing something. You don't always see a gender non-conforming, gender non-binary person doing something.
Is it pandering? Using LGBTQ representation to sell products? We need to be careful of just writing it off completely. Co-optation does exist. We can see it when it's bad. But we also need visibility.
The very fact that it's impacted somebody to say, you know, I don't like that, and why are they doing this, has introduced a whole heck of a lot of discussions.
Wow.
Time has passed. Do you feel like Procter & Gamble were exploiting you?
Absolutely not. I will say this. When Procter & Gamble first approached the trans chorus of Los Angeles for the first Pantene commercial, I looked at Procter & Gamble and I said to this executive, Brent Miller, who was an amazing ally, just not just ally, he's a gay man, but working his activism from inside corporate America. I said, Brent, I said, as soon as you contacted me, I thought of this. In 1930, Procter & Gamble didn't think Black people used soap. I'd be remiss if I didn't bring that up. And so I looked at like how they were really working towards really showing visibility in the not only the LGBTQ communities that they started back in like I think 1992, but in the trans community specifically. There's a great commercial of a trans man and his father shaving for the first time, a Black trans man and his Christian father. And it is amazing how this father accepts his son, not because Procter & Gamble did use them in a commercial, because it's not like they got rich off of it. It was the fact that this man really saw the humanity in his son, saw the humanity in knowing that, like, yes, my child was assigned something else at birth. This is who they are, and I love them, and I'm going to appreciate them and be a part of their lives. So I believe that a lot of corporate America will jump on the LGBTQ BIPOC bandwagon right now. Like right now, it's very popular to be Black and queer because they're like, well, Black Lives Matter says that queer Black lives don't matter. And I'm like, well, it does matter because I'm Black and queer and my DNA kind of flows like that. So it's all intrinsic. But you'll know which of these organizations, which of these corporations really are doing something true. And I felt, as well as my executive director, Catherine Davis, who is a white Canadian trans woman in her 70s that looks amazing. What we thought about, we had to wrestle with and talk about, are we letting this corporation use us as the face of trans America? And that's why I made that comment. It depends on your activism. I knew there hadn't been anything like that in North America in this way. So here is where I talked to our chorus and our chorus members and said, hey, you guys, we have the opportunity to be there so that some kid in Iowa or where John is, like Missouri, is seeing this commercial and knowing I'm not alone. There are other people out there like me. There are other people that are queer. There are other people that are gender non-conforming, gender non-binary. There are trans women. There are trans men. It's not this death sentence that the world has told me, but I have community. And that's why we did that, because we wanted other people to know across this globe, wherever Procter & Gamble is going to put that commercial, that you have family, you have resources, you have more friends than you know, come to us. So that's why I did that. Why we did that.
All right.
Y'all were great on Glee too.
What'd you say?
So on Glee, that was a chorus made up of all different trans people, and that was the ingenious thought that started the trans chorus of Los Angeles. We actually were birthed from that episode of Glee when they did 150 people trans choir. And a lot of those people that sang on Glee for that episode ended up being some of our founding members and long-standing members to this day with the trans chorus of Los Angeles.
I would love to piggyback on that for a second. Again, looking at this idea of how do we navigate being used versus that relationship back and forth and knowing. I want to bring it to the world of theater. In a past show, we had a producer named Tom McCoy who had hired a woman. And I just want to play the clip we were asking for last time. That was my fault. It's under a different name. Can't say it because then I'll give it away. Can we get that clip? There it is. What's this?
This is the artwork for Jekyll and Hyde. We produced the show at La Mirada. It then went on the road and went to Broadway. It didn't last long on Broadway, but that's Constantine, that's Deborah Cox, and this is our production of Jekyll and Hyde, ours with several other producers, the Nederlanders and others.
All righty, we could pull that away. So that's a very bold decision. Of course, I have to ask it. How did you get here?
In terms of?
Nothing. It's a dog whistle for. All right. So here we go. If someone came to me and said, "Mama, I just killed a man," they would be dumbfounded if I didn't know what song was being referenced. Correct? So when it comes to Black culture, even Canadian Black culture, is it important? Again, when we're doing shows, we have to look up the company. We have to learn everything about them. Is it important? Just for example, shits and giggles, Willem has a show called Race Chasers / Hot Goss, in which Alaska Ka Willem Ma and Dripper Tink Ta Ta, they review shows, they talk politics, and then they also look at drinks. But when it comes to culture, Willem really seems to be on it. So I'm going to ask you, Willem, how did you get here?
I'm not on it. I surround myself with people smarter than me. And then I try to just glean what I can from them and like listen a lot more because I've done so many stupid fucking things and like I just need to be stopped. And people are constantly like, "Stop. Are you dumb?" I look at my old videos sometimes now and like I'm currently going through 500 videos on my YouTube channel, seeing what's wrong with them so I can make new videos making fun of myself for being stupid. Like in case I did something dumb, said something insensitive. I try like joke-wise, I try not to like hit like low-hanging joke fruit like teeth, weight, hair, stuff that people would change if they could, but they can't. So like I'm trying to be better with stuff. And I mean, how did I get here in particular? When a cute guy asked me to get on a webcam, I say yes. So, and I want to listen and learn and I'm fans of everybody. So I was like, okay. I love the wigs from Six. I follow the wig designer from Six, and I'm a fan of Abby, obviously, and Vinchelle, Hometown Girl. So down.
Yes,
Josh.
Yes.
And hi, Josh.
I was about to say, come on.
You seem nice.
How did you get here?
How did I get here? I got called out real bad about 5 years ago, and by a Black mentor who disowned me. And I should have been. And I've been working, I teach musical theater history. So I deal with the foundations of, blackface and minstrelsy and all kinds of horrific topics and have to lead conversations for students who may or may not be aware. And I asked him some really good questions about how to present material. And he gave me lots of emotional labor and gave me, good ideas. And then, as I think in the Pinkins article, I just couldn't keep my mouth shut on social media and his social media space. And about 5 years ago, he put the smackdown on it. And that sort of propelled me into a daily sort of recollection of myself, and the journey of that sort of daily look, and surrounding myself with, you know, Black voices that people need to hear. The Michael Harriets, the Allie Henneys, people, you know, things that white people generally don't even necessarily have a grasp on, and you know, just keeping it going every single day, but also having a really good core of Black students who keep me accountable, honestly, and let me have conversations with them, because it's about, I don't think you can be an ally without having an actual relationship with people.
I love that. Zara, how did you get here?
My mama. No.
No, go, do it.
No, but really, like my mum.
Uh-huh.
My mum, I'm of mixed race, so my mum's Black and my dad's white. So my mum's got a Jamaican, Caribbean heritage, and my dad is British Scottish. So even like that, we always used to joke and be like, you know, jerk, haggis. But like,
leave meeting.
The mixture that I was born from. But yeah, I would say literally my mum being a strong Black woman, being able to guide me as a mixed female. I grew up, I was like raised in a small village where there was literally 3 Black people in my whole school, myself, my brother, and someone that was in my brother's year. So experiencing things like Black Pig. I remember a boy waited for me when I left the toilet one day and just decided to just punch me. I had things like tell your mum to go back to where she came from, and my poor little heart was like, from here. She's from here. She's British. What do you mean? Kind of thing. So I would say I've got to where I am, and the things that I'm trying to do because of my amazing mother and my amazing grandmother. So strong Black women in my life that teach me, even though I am mixed, I carry the Black blood, and I should be proud of that just as much as I'm proud of my white side as well. So yeah, it could be very difficult being mixed. Sometimes you read things, you hear things, and you don't know what category to put yourself in. And I feel like I've come to realize I shouldn't be putting myself in any of those categories, because I am who I am. And if one day I want to wake up and I want to be pro-Black, I can do that as long as I'm respecting my white side and vice versa. So it's about respecting yourself as well within who you are as a person, as I'm sure we're all aware of where we are today as individuals. You have to respect yourself and where you've come from to know where you're going and the beauty of that. So
did you see Dreamgirls on the West End?
Pardon?
Did you see Dreamgirls on the West End?
I did.
Did you get to see Lacey LaFontaine?
No, I didn't.
Oh, I find it very interesting because I think both of you have a let's just do it. Can we play Mixed Up?
It is kind of understanding the privilege that I do hold in a lot of these spaces and allowing space and wanting to amplify the voices that are less heard, but then also being like, I am Black and I do experience this shit. I do see this all the time, every day. And you just learn to live with it. And there is a level of acceptance that I feel guilty for.
That was the Dina in that production who opened the show without Amber Riley. And here's a question I have for you. With what she just said, do you ever, better yet, let me just rephrase it. Can we highlight our culture and utilize our racial background without it being problematic?
We should be able to, but they come hand in hand in certain aspects. It's like, I don't know, people, you might disagree or have other opinions, but I feel when we're talking about race and where we fit in this world with that, it's a toss up. It's literally finding that balance and understanding.
Of course, we're gonna. Oh, there you go.
The whole time.
That's awesome. I am going to move to Vinchel. Vinchel, how did you get here?
I would say when I first started drag, I kind of like any gay black boy, I was like, I want to be Beyonce. I want to be crazy in love, like just very typical. Let me get that shake and go wig and do naughty girl and think I'm that naughty girl, you know. I would have lots of sweet dreams, but it would really be a beautiful nightmare, bitch. But no, like it was bad. But I think with the platform that I've been given, and as hard as I've been working, I've noticed a lot of stuff that has been going on in Philadelphia, like the Tokenism being one of them, the racism in our drag community, in our queer trans community, burlesque community here in Philadelphia. It's strong. It's real strong here. And as someone who was tokenized and was considered like a token for the longest time, I would see a lot of my black entertainers not get booked or not get work or anything, and they would always get to me because I know how talented they are. They're really so talented. And why is it just me? Like, I know I'm a bad bitch, but there's also other bad bitches too. So it's like, we need to all be bad bitches together. You know what I mean? I don't know if we can curse. I'm so sorry. But
you can curse. You have full permission to curse. Curse away.
Work. But yeah, so I saw all that. And when I noticed it, I started to speak up more. And I think I heard a queen from Iowa say this. I played the game to change the game. And that's exactly what I've been doing. I've been really changing it up in Philadelphia. I've been providing lots of, like, that's where I came up with Black Girl Magic Philadelphia, along with Vixen from Drag Race. I was very inspired, and I got Vixen's blessing, and I started one in Philadelphia. And that's been going on for almost 2 years now. And I literally have 15 to 16 Black performers on one stage in one night. And it's so amazing for me because I get to sit back and watch these amazing Black people shine. And I've been calling out racism in Philly for a long time. I've always been very vocal. So
you want my family's number? You can call them.
Let's go. Philadelphia. Yeah. And but you know what though? It's been hard for me because, especially with the gay community in Philly, like I think a lot of people need to realize that we all need to be a unit and we all need to be strong together. And when you are ostracizing or when you are putting down the Black community, especially the gay Black community or the trans Black community, or the non-binary Black community, you're doing a disservice for yourself, because we have to realize we can go back to Stonewall, we can go back to so many things, but a lot of times there's a lot of Black leaders and that don't necessarily get looked at. And I know as quote unquote big as I am in Philly, there's a lot of times there's a lot of white gays that do not attend Black Girl Magic, that will have never attended Black Girl Magic, but they'll be at that white queen show at the next day, or they'll be at that white queen show that same night, but they won't even support a show. But then they're the same people that are like, well, I don't really know any Black queens other than Vinchel. Well, bitch, I just have 15 in this show. If you will come to it, you might know.
Then let's talk about this. Vinchel, we're actually going to get into that, but I know Abby knows the answer to this question. Abby, how did you get here?
How did you get here? I love
is that what we were doing?
Damn, now I got it.
See, that's not fair. Hold on.
I love thing for the last time.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You ain't getting me.
You can't do absolutely not. Your hair is not in a ponytail, Vinchel.
Damn. So, let me go. Okay, hold on. Let me go grab those.
You're not wearing Chanel and you're not wearing a ponytail.
Let me go back. Let me go get my Flanell and let me get a ponytail. No.
Now that we have the answer to that dog whistle, let's get back. Can I get commitment
for the trans chorus of Los Angeles? When I started, I used to describe myself as I was a Black gay man with a lot of sugar in their tank. I didn't know what non-binaryism was. I always knew that I had this duality, but didn't really have the words. And the trans chorus helped me find that voice. And being in the community more and more and more and more, I was like, I was always too much for the gay boys and way, way too much for the straight boys. So this was the first time I literally felt like me and felt at home. And what is so amazing with all of this, with this new expansive gender queer, gender expansive movement, is people are saying, this is who I am, this is me, I am here, we're not going anywhere. Even in the BIPOC ABLM movement, you know, you get a lot of people talking about like Black Lives Matter, but not Black queers. We don't know about that because we know about Jesus. And I did a show with Roland Martin. Yes, I name dropped. And I was on there because they wanted to talk about people with the Black Lives Movement Matter in the LGBT community. And I said, you can't say all Black Lives Matter if you're not including all of us.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going anywhere. One person tried to tell me it was because of like the point of view of young Black gays and queers from a white perspective. That's why we're queer.
Abby,
and I'm like, no sense.
Abby, can I pull something up and then you tell me simply if you agree or disagree?
Cool.
Zara, you're hired for this reading. Are you ready? Can I get Billy Porter?
Wow.
This is me.
This is you. Go for it, girl.
As a Black queer man in America, my basic human rights have been up for a legislation every single day that I have had breath in my body from all sides. And by that, I mean that my Black community's relationship with the LGBTQ community is appalling and is similar to that of white supremacists versus Black folks. Hear me, homophobic, transphobic, and xenophobic Black people, and hear me well. I am calling you out right here and now. You cannot expect our demands of equality. I can't read to be met with any real legislation policy and change when the homophobic, transphobic, and xenophobic Black people turn around and inflict the same kind of hate and oppression on us, the queer community.
Abby, agree or disagree?
I agree.
Is it aggressive or not aggressive? I mean, is this a controversial statement or not?
It is a controversial statement because within the Black community, I gotta say, in this, I don't like painting the Black community as a monolith, but in this example, I will. We are so used to Black LGBTQIA+ individuals to not say anything. And this was a statement of saying something and putting it out there. I had not heard that comment until just now, but I agree with it because it's something that we keep putting out there over and over and over again. Yes, I'm Black. Yes, I'm Muslim. Yes, I'm Christian. Yeah, actually, I'm just spiritual. But like, I grew up in all those forms from Philadelphia to Los Angeles. And my Black identity and my queer identity is like my DNA. It's just formed. It formed me. It formed many of us. And you don't see that represented out there a lot. Like whenever they talk about non-binary, you will see, and I love them, Jacob Tobias, Alok, others that are non-Black. But when you see a Black person saying, I'm non-binary, they're like, well, what is that, first of all? I won't get into that right here because we don't have enough time. But it's just looking at the expansion of who we are as Black and brown individuals and understanding we are here. We have always been here. In ancient times, we were revered for that duality. In ancient times, they would want us there because we understood, respect, and embodied all of which is masculine and feminine, and just bringing those worlds together and connecting them. And so I agree with that statement just because I do find that I am talking a lot lately to a lot of Black people who feel that the LGBTQ movement is trying to hijack the Black Lives Matter movement, even though two lesbians started the Black Lives Matter movement. But, you know, as Black folks do, it's like, oh, no, they weren't lesbians. They were two very good friends. You know? So that's why I agree with that. I love that Billy put it that way. I said Billy because obviously we know each other. I don't know Billy Ford, but
I would love to thank Josh for being an ally and being here. Thank you so much. We're going to switch up the panel a little bit. Josh, have a good one, okay?
Thanks, y'all. See you later.
Thank you. All righty. I want to get a little bit more Philly bound. Is that okay?
Yes.
I would like to play a video from at the time she was a lead cheerleader for the 76ers. Can I get 76ers 1?
Find you in whatever home project you live in. I will slum it to the west side of Philly just to find your beat the out of it and then get you blacklisted from whatever club you think you can get into. All right? Bye. That was in January.
Explain that clip.
So this is one of the Sixers answers that Trey Songz is calling out. She made this video and sent it to one of the other, a black Sixers dancer. And it's like 3 different videos, and she says a lot of things. So her name is Annie Weiss, a former captain.
So that's Annie Weiss. Can I get a 76ers 2, please? So the person who was victimized, who was also a cheerleader, then goes to these heads. This is the coach, Dana. We got the director, Debbie. We got Laura Price. And then can we get 70? And again, she says nothing happened. Not only does she have that, but she has receipts. Can we get 76ers number 3? Yane, thank you for bringing the issue to our attention. We will promptly look into this. And then they say some stuff about HR and they give you a polite thank you as they let her know we're going into Labor Day weekend. Let us know if you have any other issues. We can't be bothered. Nothing had happened. So I was a little curious about this. I went to the University of the Arts. I went to some 76ers games, and I just wanted to know, like, how often did this happen? Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce former 76ers cheerleader Adriana Poindexter. Hey, come on, Lip. I'm going to ask you a simple yes or no question. Some fun information about Adriana as well. She also has a burlesque show, which I love. I think it's brilliant, called Hot Damn Philly. I think it's phenomenal. Straight up yes or no. Did that video surprise you?
No. No, it didn't. I did 1 season with the Sixers. I fortunately was not on the receiving end of that kind of treatment that Yane was. I think it's horrible what she went through. However, being on the team for the season that I wasn't surprised at that video. I think that on that team at the time, and this is the things I'm saying are not at all a reflection of the current team, because it's my understanding that they have revamped and they're totally different. And I know people who are on the team currently who don't feel this way about, the kind of current setup. But the season that I was on, there was kind of this weird like hierarchy, even though it was just a team of 20 people. And it was very elitist. It was very much a hierarchy, very much kind of like a Mean Girls thing. And there was some weird form of like, I guess I would call it hazing, where, I was a first year, I was a rookie, and at the first game, we get there and there are 2 dressing rooms and there were chairs in front of the mirrors, and you could only fit like 6 chairs in front of a mirror. And one of the girls said, well, all the rookies, when we were rookies, we had to do our makeup in the bathroom. So veterans get a seat at the mirror and the rookies have to do their makeup in the bathroom, as opposed to just kind of like alternating every game or, alternating every week. So it was very much this kind of thing where it was like a queen bee thing where you kind of had to earn your place, to be kind of like a part of the cool crowd, So I just, I kind of would just sit in the corner, I was there to do a job. A lot of these women are not really, I can't say the same for other cities, but at least for Philly, they were women who were not really pursuing dance as a career. They were really maybe like they grew up dancing and they were teachers or nurses or whatever, and they were doing the Sixers to just continue doing this hobby that they love. So I think for them, it was kind of like this cool thing that they got to go and brag about and got to, talk about this thing that they did. And So I don't know if that kind of like inflated their heads a little bit. You know, I wasn't really there to make friends. I was there to show up and do a job and have something to put on my resume and get experience and all that kind of thing. But these girls were really, I mean, it was really weird because it was just a team of 20 people and there was very much like cliques, mean girls, queen bees, like very much that kind of thing.
You said that you have people who have said things are different now and things like that. And there are people who are on a team going, nothing has changed, which sounds like mendacity. It means people are lying. And that brings me to something. When there's something done to people, should there be reparations? And when you bring it into the theater world, can I actually get reparations? This happened in the last episode. Reparations? Oh, is it not called reparations? I'm going to just straight up ask you, in the theater world, are Black theater actors owed reparations?
Yes.
That was Bené Boyd. Bené Boyd is a theater actress in Los Angeles, very popular theater actress. A lot of people refer to her as mother. She ended up with a disability, and that disability was outed. And then as time went on, just straight up, I asked her, do you think you deserve reparations for the way that you were mistreated? And she said, yes. And then I came across Vinchell. Can we play Lying?
Sorry to say just pretty much also, and Amber, I'll let you say it too. I just wanted to say that the lying, you know, you've been known to lie quite a bit and gaslight in this whole community. You've lied to a national news network about a gay bashing, and you also lied about several other things as far as bookings as well. And we need to take ownership and accountability for that. And Amber, like, what did you say also?
And so what I said is, in addition to apologies, which is what Vinchell pushed for, we also want to see actionable steps. So Josh, I wanted to know if you were in a position at this point to actually provide back pay to folks that you still have not paid, and what are you going to do about crediting folks for their work, specifically Black folks? Actionable steps, Josh.
Were you happy with his answer, Vinchell?
I don't even know if he necessarily gave an answer, to be quite honest with you. There was a lot of internet connection problems, but a lot of that. But I'm gonna be very, very candid with you all. Was not happy with a lot of what happened on in that town hall. I know a lot of people watched it. It could be entertaining, but I hope that people actually watched it and learned, because what was really sad about the whole thing is that when you watch it and you see these people getting confronted with these issues, they literally have nothing to say. They're like, well, I'm sorry if. And I'm very happy that we touched on that. It's not I'm sorry if, it is I'm sorry that I did this to you. And a lot of times people, and I've even said this when I do my show every single Wednesday on my Facebook page, The Black Diaries.
I'm sorry, can you say that again? Can you say that again?
Every single Wednesday on my Facebook page, The Black Diaries. I've said this before as well. I've said, you know, a lot of times people don't own up to things unless they get caught. And I've always said, like, if you get caught, that's when you want to apologize, or that's when you want to, you know, say, I'm sorry if. And it's a big thing with me because I put the same analogy as if you're taking a test. Like, if I'm cheating on this test, I'm cheating on the test. And when I turn it in and no one catches me cheating, guess what? I passed the test. I did fabulous, right? But at the end of the day, if I got caught cheating, I would say, oh my God, I normally don't cheat. I'm so sorry. Same thing with racism. Oh my God, I'm not like that. I would never do that. Oh my God. So, and with the town hall, you just saw a lot of gaslighting, a lot of people that were literally just wanting to tell their own stories. They want to come out as whatever they want to come out as. They want to use this opportunity to tell us about their next show, their next endeavor. And this was not about that. So that's what it was really. It's so funny when you play these clips. It's actually really hard for me to watch the town hall. I don't really watch it back a lot. I mean, it's fine. No, it's fine. Watch it. It's good. It's totally fine. But it's just hard for me to watch what went down and like what we in Philly, and I know Adriana, you deal with, like, you understand this too, like what we in Philly and the performance community really be going through, and how, the people that we work with. It is insane.
Mm-hmm.
Here's something interesting. I would like to introduce you all to Mark Richard Taylor. Mark Richard Taylor, Willem and Abby will return. We're switching things around. They will be back. Also, just juicing up some laptops and stuff. This is a 90-minute show, y'all. Mark Richard Taylor was the first episode. He was running for Actors Equity Association Council. He wanted to be a council member, and then it was discovered that he had racist tweets, sexist tweets, and nationalist tweets. And then Mark did this. Can I get Mark 2? This is one of the things that was discovered. This is Mark 2.
I was not educated on the group or informed well on the group. Therefore, it led me to make a stupid statement like that. I am much more educated today on the group and do not hold those feelings whatsoever.
Now, I saw that apology, and I know what you just said, but it's really important to do this. You gave someone named Brittany Lynn a commitment request. Can I get where is it? Can I get commitment?
Definitely were that night, and you definitely have. So I would like a commitment from you to please, A, keep my name out of your mouth, and also to please stop going on Facebook and saying nasty things like pigs in a wig, and you only won because of this. I would appreciate if you take your hate and your disdain for Mimi off of me and let me live my life. Because guess what? I don't work for Mimi. I work for myself. I'm a CEO of Vinchell. So I need you to understand that 110% that everything I do, I work for hard for myself. And I don't need anyone else to get that from me. So I need a commitment from you that I will not go on Facebook and see you trash me anymore.
Yeah. Then Brittany goes, can you play excuses?
Yeah, I mean, I will admit, and I know that there was another time that you thought I spoke about you because I made a big book status, and that was like a couple years ago. And I will say to you that had nothing to do with evangelical.
I don't want to talk about that status. I want to talk about I want to talk about going forward.
Steps. So I just want to focus you, Ian. Accountability, actionable steps. Yeah. Apology to Vinchell. Commitment to not
apologize. And I will say that I was a different person back then than I am now. And I'm sober, now, which was not a case back then, and I apologize for that.
And commitment.
Right. Yeah. Yes, 100% commitment, and I apologize, Vinchell, and I mean that.
I appreciate that. Thank you, and I'm sorry.
I think he's full of shit. And this is what I mean.
Can I just say something real quick? I want to say something real quick because I know there's a lot of people watching that did watch the town hall. And I'm going to say this out loud in public. Brittany Lynn has not committed to that. There was just a post about me just the other day. So it continues. It keeps going. And someone called her out about it. Then she had, of course, her friends come. Brittany Lynn used alcoholism to blame the fact that, that they were totally disrespectful and totally belittling not only a performer, but a Black performer that was trying to make their name in the city. And Brittany Lynn, to this day, is continuing to do that. That town hall meant nothing to her. That town hall meant shit to her. She's still doing the same thing. That all what we just saw right there, like that apology. Oh, I'm so sorry, Vinchell. They just said that to get the hell up off there. Okay, they didn't mean that. They went right on Facebook just 2 days ago and spoke about me in a generalization post, in another vague book post. It's all these vague book posts, and we are not she's almost 50, and I'm not trying to be funny, but when you are that age, you need to be literally being a leader in this community. You are a leader in this community. I mean, regardless of your age, but I would say at that age, because Brittany Lynn pretty much started a lot of the drag in Philadelphia. So people look up to you and you are a leader in this community. Your words are very impactful on other people. You must go ahead. You must stop being on Facebook and bashing other people because that's not going to get you anywhere. And that doesn't look good. And that's why I'm so confident because there's no receipt anyone can pull up of me bashing anyone on Facebook because I don't have the time. I don't need to do that. I'm too busy trying to lift myself up and lift my other Black folks around me up. And it's sad that we have that. So seeing that just lit a fire in me even more. I'm so sorry because I just saw something else. So that's a bunch of bull. It's still the case. And I'm glad, Davon, I'm glad you, my college buddy, see that bullshit that was there because it's there.
So the question is for all of us, what do we do about fake allies? Like people who are just saving face but not doing the work? Come on, Abby.
I say we call them out. Okay, so I am a part of Gala Chorus, which is It's the amalgamation of all the queer choruses in North America, Canada, and Mexico. It's like 650. One of the great things they're doing within the choral structure, where I can say I am one of like maybe 6 Black people in a group of 250 in choral music. And what they're doing is challenging each and every chorus to check your bias, check how you've been bringing in Black artists to be a part of your choral structure, whether it's Beethoven or Lady Gaga. You know, you're not really, you're looking at voices in a complete and dishonest way. And I love that they have challenged themselves as an organization that is predominantly white to say, hey, we need to fix this. And we need that across the board in all entertainment. What you're going through in Philly, you hear that all the time from queens out here in LA, but it's not just queens out here in LA, it's just whatever we are doing artistically comes with that extra scrutiny where we gotta work twice or 3 times as hard just to get noticed. And then when they notice, they think we're the only ones doing it. And that's gotta change. And I think right now, we are at the beginning of that change. If America and all of its citizens would look at the fact that the laws that afford us to have this streaming service right here, right now, Black, queer, white, everything, is only 56 years old. Those laws are 56 years old and 400 some odd years of systematic racism and everything. So we are all the beginning ambassadors of this movement. We keep thinking that this movement started long ago. No, we're the children of this movement. And we just got to keep pushing it forward and pushing it forward, like those that came behind us, like the Bay Art Wrestons, like the Marsha P. Johnsons, like the Sylvia Riveras, like the Cocos, that just kept pushing it, and saying we're not going to stop until each one of us have a place and a space in this United States. And entertainment.
Absolutely. And yeah, absolutely. I just want to piggyback off of what you're saying. Absolutely. And to go back to your question, Davon, I do want to say that holding people accountable is also something that I've been definitely doing within the past like 5 years, I will say, but especially now more than ever, especially after doing that town hall, the accountability is right. And I've often talked about this on my Black Diary show when I've said, like, you know, it's funny. Oh, I hate you so much. On my Black Diary show every Wednesday on Facebook. Woo! I'm not a drag though. I'm not a drag, so don't expect this. Don't expect this. But yeah, I often say that I think I find it hilarious that now all of a sudden that people that, you know, would come to drag shows or come to shows that would not even like blink an eye at me, not even look at me, now want to hit me up. Well, hey, can you do my Black Lives Matter fundraiser? Hey, can you do this? Or, hey, girl, I think it would be so great to have you. And I've been looking at some of them that hit me up on Instagram and they don't even follow a bitch. So I'm like, you want me to do all this and you're not even following me? No, I'm joking. But like, still, like, it's like I get all that. And then I often, like, when I spoke it, I was so happy and blessed to speak at this Trans Black Lives Matter march, when I was saying, like, being Black and this Black Lives Matter movement, this is not a TikTok dance, people. This is not just something that happens just right away. It's gonna go away next year. I want these people next year, I want to see that same energy next year. I want to see these same, it's not all about the post, mama. It's not all about the post, because people are all upset about, well, I need to post. Posting is one thing, but actually doing something is another thing, because
Vinchelle, let's talk about this. Can we play Nobody Died?
Like when people don't know what Stonewall is. You know what I mean?
Why don't you tell everybody what that is?
That was fighting for gay rights, and people were killed.
Nobody was killed at Stonewall.
Nobody was killed?
Nobody was killed at Stonewall. It was in June 1969, and some say it was because Judy Garland had just died and we were over it. It was the first time we stood up not the first time, the Black Cat in Los Angeles, actually, in Silver Lake, that was the first time in 1967. Stonewall was 69. And it's the first time we stood up and stood back and said to the people that we were paying off usually to just live our lives and go about our ways, we're not going to take this anymore. It's too much. Marsha P. Johnson was there. They say a lesbian who was also a cross-dresser as a man was there, and he threw the first brick or punch. But that inspires me because the kids today now, it's just like, oh, repost slacktivism on Facebook. They don't get out. They don't do things.
You knocked that question out the park, Willem.
I was actually wrong though, because the Compton cafeterias in San Fran were like 66, but they're even like less known. And like I lived in Inglewood, so I should know about that. But then I found out it wasn't even in Compton; it was in San Fran. So like I was really confused too. But like I knew more than Derek.
You saved me. You saved me.
Can I say that? Yeah. Can I say that like that right there, Willem, you A plus, because when like literally my roommate and I sometimes walk around, no one died in Stonewall. Like we love that. It's great. I'm sorry. Like that was amazing. And also like what you said was so true. And I mean, I love that too. Like what you said after that. A lot of people need to know their history. I think a lot of times people just want to live in the moment now, which is great. And the present day is like we're going through stuff. But you have to know what went on before. And just like what Abby said, just 56 years ago. So we have to think about that. That's not that long ago. 56 years is not that long ago.
Yeah. I mean, Zara said it too. You have to know where you came from to know where you're going, all that stuff. And I still agree.
The question is, in that situation, it is without a doubt that Derek Barry wants to be there, wants to help. How do we channel that energy and redirect it so that Derek and people like that can be a better ally, so that when that question comes back up, we're good?
Better wigs. I'm kidding.
Let me take one. Thank y'all so much. Y'all have a great day.
Oh my God. So I'm gonna run out of that topic, and I'm gonna get us to the finish line. So we have 6 people. Are you ready? We're gonna play our final game. It is called Ally or Pigsty, in which we will have to literally decide if this person is being an ally or a pigsty. Are you ready? This is round 1. Can I get everyone's favorite, Rachel Dolezal?
Who's going first?
All right, there it is. There's no video. I just want everyone to look.
I tried watching some of that documentary and I got mad at her, but like she did a lot of great stuff while she was in charge of that NAACP chapter. But like, was it? I'm thinking, was it her place to do it? And then I'm like, is it my place to talk when there's 5 other Black people here? I'm gonna shut up in my rocker.
Well, let's find out. Adriana,
with Rachel, she did do good work, and I get where she just identified as Black. I just wish she would have like said, I'm not Black like Thurgood Marshall Black, because when you're a little kid and you see Thurgood Marshall, you're like, are you sure he is Black? I know what I'm talking about.
I'm so done.
The I Love Lucy show.
So let's do this. Let's do this. Adriana, you're hired for a voiceover job. Here we go. Can we get the NAACP?
For 106 years, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People has held a long and proud tradition of receiving support from people of all faiths, races, colors, and creeds. NAACP Spokane, Washington branch president Rachel Dolezal is enduring a legal issue with her family, and we respect her privacy in this matter. One's racial identity is not a qualifying criteria or disqualifying standard for the NAACP leadership. The NAACP Alaska, Oregon, Washington State Conference stands behind Ms. Dolezal's advocacy record. In every corner of this country, the NAACP remains committed to securing political, educational, and economic justice for all people, and we encourage Americans of all stripes to become members and serve as leaders in our organization.
So now we vote. Rachel Dolezal, ally or pigsty? Let's start with Vinchel.
I'm going to just say this real quick before I can't just give a yes or no. I just want to say this real quick. I think if you're going to be a leader in whatever community you're in or in the world, you need to be yourself. First of all, I think that a lot of people will maybe cling on to you more if you really are. Blackfishing is a thing. It's especially in the music industry and the drag community too. We have a lot of girls that like to paint dork. Listen. I think that she's doing. I can't fight a bitch for fighting for Black rights. Okay, like thank you. However, let's just be who you are. Let's not try to do all the hair, and let's not do all that, because that becomes on the offensive line. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn my question to Zara. Zara, what do you think?
Okay, time's out. You can't eat up the last 5 minutes we have, then throw from the question.
Thank the sponsors, the panel, the judges. Thank them.
Thank you.
Esteemed judges.
Thank you. I'm contestant number 28, and I appreciate you all. Thank you so much.
Abby, you're next. Ally or pigsty?
So, okay,
y'all. No, I'm stopping. We got 5 minutes left, and y'all gonna not get us through to this finish line.
Pigsty because she wasn't honest.
Adriana?
If she was honest, I would have said ally, but because she wasn't honest, I have to say pigsty. So, sorry, Rachel, you should have been honest. You just are light-skinned, and
y'all love cleaning stuff up. Adriana? Ally or pigsty?
Pigsty.
All right, Zara?
Pigsty, yeah.
Pigsty. I'm a big
All right,
fan.
Willem?
Pigsty, but I hope she advances the lives of her children because they're at least Black.
Yes, that's true. Behind me is
and I hate talking about a mother, but whatever.
Stop. Behind me is a beautiful picture of Beyonce. I would like to bring up a victim of Beyonce's. Can we do a Beyonce victim?
Is it Farrah Franklin?
Oh, you know. We have Carrie Hilton, who defended Rachel Dolezal. Let's just all thank #Rachel Dolezal. Identity, pathological, and parental issues aside, she's doing more than most of us do for ourselves. In which a live girl says, at Carrie Hilton, she mailed herself hate mail to seem more authentic. She wasn't advocating, she was censoring herself. Height of privilege. Carrie Hilton, ally or pigsty? Zara.
I have to ask, who's Carrie Hilton?
I have no clue who that is either.
I don't know who it is either. We don't know.
I've never heard of her before. I hope she's doing well.
No. Carrie, you're like 4 steps below Ciara. Sorry.
I think you're being generous. Let's say 18 steps, honey. Okay, and she can't even sing. And she can't even sing past that half step. So anyway, let's keep going. All
right, here we go.
You don't come for me.
You don't. That our queen is always watching. Can I get Halle Berry? Zara, you got a job. Can you read this article headline from Variety?
Halle Berry pulls out of transgender film role after backlash.
Ally or pigsty?
Pigsty, because I will say that there are tons of trans actresses out there. Hire one of them. The days of trans, quote unquote, blackface is over. There are trans men and women who are amazing actors and actresses out there who deserve the opportunity to play who they are and who they are portraying. And I'm over it. I am over it. Danish Girl was a great, well-made film, but give a trans girl that job.
Zara.
I was going to say, on top of that as well, not even just for like the trans community, even for the Black community, there is more than a handful of iconic Black people that you just always go back to. There are so many of us that are talented. I see it on the West End all the time, and I'm like, open your doors wider. Stop just reusing the same damn people. God, you might.
And that even trickles down to local, like to the local scene as well. As I was saying earlier, a lot of people are like, "Well, I only know one Black queen in Philly, and that's Vinchelle." And I'd be like, "Girl, that is impossible. Impossible. Yeah. Open your minds, open your doors, and maybe you can see that there's a lot." And there's actually more Black entertainers than white entertainers in Philly, but people would never know that. Same with Hollywood and stuff. Yes, same thing.
Last one. Are you all ready? This is it, and then we are closing this thing down, okay? Actually, there's going to be one more question after that. We're going to run over time a little bit. I apologize, but hopefully we're giving you quality. We are giving you
my invoice.
thank you. Could I get Geno's?
Oof.
What?
We're gonna get Geno's.
I gotta go.
So here we go. I'll read this one. The Philadelphia Gay Men's Chorus responded to criticism of cultural appropriation by singing songs like "We Shall Overcome" and "Maya Angelou, Still I Rise." Fast forward, fast forward, fast forward. He also apologized for taking money from Geno's Steaks. The restaurant has been a longtime supporter of the Philadelphia Police Department and has been accused of racism. The flagship restaurant used to have a sign that said, "This is America," when ordering "Speak English." We can pull it down. Gay Men's Chorus of Philadelphia, ally or pigsty? We're starting with Abby.
Okay, so I am a member of Gala Choruses, and they are a member of Gala Choruses, and we have heard about this. I will say ally interrupted. Because
So just a little bit in the mud. They're just a little muddy.
Ally interrupted in this respect. As all of us that run theaters and choruses and rely on money coming from outside, they made a misstep in who they were aligned with because they give a lot of money. Now, does that absolve them from what they chose to do? No. Be more open and careful of whose bandwagon you jump on, because that was just ridiculous. It was ridiculous. But
all right, I want to say something about this too.
Of course, Vinchel.
Because this came from the town hall.
Iconic. It's fucking iconic.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't really know a lot about the Philly Gay Men's Chorus until I was introduced to them with the town hall and everything. I did some gigs with them, but not really. I'm gonna say pigsty, because they have been getting away and they've been doing a lot of things for a lot of years. As far as I know, after that town hall, I was flooded with several people that messaged me about their stories as well. And I read each and every one of them, and I responded back because they deserve their stories to be heard and be read and saw. And I think that the Philly Gay Men's Chorus also needs a lot of work. And on top of that, I don't know if people know this or not, but Geno's actually just dropped the Gay Men's Chorus. They dropped them. The Philly Gay Men's Chorus, after that big town hall, we told them about Geno's. They never dropped Geno's. Geno's got mad at the Gay Men's Chorus because they didn't stick up for Geno's, and Geno's decided to drop the Gay Men's Chorus. So if that can tell you something, pigsty for me.
I would like to give Willem the last word. Can we play Rupologize?
Oh, God.
Edited myself. Courtney told me that gender is different than sex, which I'm trying to understand, like male, female facts versus identifying as a man or a woman, which I'm getting. I'm learning, I don't know. I'm hoping my education catches up with the evolution of thought that is correct. I'm sorry that you even had to think about this. And you said thank you, and yes, I think an apology is in order. Spent most of my day defending you. Please ask me anything you want to know when there's questions. I'm working on a show right now pertaining to trans education. Always remember your gender is who you identify as, and your sexual orientation is who you choose to go to bed with. I feel bad about how I made people feel about it, and this is my official apology.
All right, Willem, ally or pig? No, I'm joking.
I can tell you the answer, pigsty, honestly, because I've had every misstep along the way in my, I can barely call it a career, in my job history. I've done stuff that comedians have done that was never okay, but Tina Fey's doing it, Robert Downey Jr.'s doing it, white chicks flipping races, Mrs. Swan. Comedians got away with a lot of stuff back in the day, which never would have been appropriate. I did a movie with a bunch of trans women called Ticked Off Grannies with Knives, except Grannies was a different word. And it premiered at Tribeca, and it was the first movie of its kind. And like, we were celebrating these women, and I was playing a drag queen. I wasn't necessarily a trans woman in it, but the other girls were. And nowadays that movie couldn't be said. We had protests at the premiere. It's like, I've been at every misstep you could make along the past 20 years with drag, racism, everything stupid white people do, I've done. I got the dykes mad last week because I said something about dykes buying me high heels because a dyke bought me my first pair of heels. I've said everything wrong. I am a pigsty, but pigs are actually one of the cleanest animals if you look it up.
Abby.
So, Willem, I will say this. I get you as saying you are pigsty, and I love that you took that you let yourself go that way. But actually, some of the things you have said over the years are very much before the curve of a lot of white people saying them. So thank you for that. And thank you for admitting that. And thank you for understanding that this is where you have been tripped up, because not many people in that world will admit that. So I'm not going to give you a pigsty. I'm going to give you an ally because you admit what is there.
So this
and
is
you,
the last
and you also build up, and you, I'm sorry, I just want to say this too. You've also built up a lot of Black queens. I noticed that too, especially on the show. Like, of course, I love you and I listen to all your stuff, and I know that you've always hyped up the Black queens, because we all know the fandom does not do that. So I'm very happy that there's people like you that can use your voice and use your privilege to say, hey, look at Jada Essence Hall. Hey, look at these other queens that aren't getting looked. That's why I said that. Yeah, but like there's not a lot of white queens on the show. Yeah,
we got Miss Shay that just came in the mail.
Oh, that's weird.
And then we have Nicole's book in the mail yesterday. It's a good day.
I love her. But that's
She's
what
so
I'm saying.
great.
Like, I think it's great that you, like, I know that you've had like a problematic past before, and I'm glad that you can acknowledge it, like Abby said. But also, I do know that you have built up a lot of the Black queens, and just not on, of course, on Drag Race, but like locally too. But as I see on Drag Race, you have built us up. So
I don't want to watch an Evanescence number ever again. I will watch a Beyonce number anytime.
So I'm going to give you the last question, and then we're shutting this down. I promise. We're giving y'all some overtime quality content. But Willem, in this situation, like we all just second and third and motion, that you are an ally. You have had some missteps, which you have admitted. But here's something that's very interesting. For people who want to be allies and have made mistakes and things like that, what separates you and what really gets me is that you have been forgiven time and time again, and you keep going. What do you have to say about those redemptions? I couldn't help myself.
I don't know that forgiven is the right word, because
you survived cancel culture. You survived it.
I don't know that to be true. We'll see when all this ends. Like I tried to read to kids at a library, and they said, "Oh no, we found out about whatever." And I said, "Oh well, here's my apology video, that same one that you referenced." And they're like, "Oh no, it's not that. It was the blackface from 2008." And I was like, "Oh okay." So I won't read to the kids. I'm sorry, and so it still affects me. Poor decision making, and I'm hopefully gonna learn from, I forget what the question was too. Sorry. I'm just trying to cover my ass so bad, and like I'm just constantly worried that my past will prohibit my future from helping. I've been doing a lot of fundraisers online, just and they're steeped in white guilt. I need to do everything possible I can do to diminish that history, because like RuPaul and I are not friends, but anytime someone rags on her, I elevate her, because she has done so much fucking great. Even if she is an asshole, she's done so much great, and we can't negate it. I just bought her Back to My Roots vinyl LP to put on my wall, and I was like, look at this album cover, it's sickening. Back to My Roots was one of my favorite songs other than Click Clack. And my roommate, who's also a DJ, he's like, we're not putting that up. And I was like, A, it's my house, and B, we're putting it up because he's like, I don't want Rue in the house. I was like, no, you won't do that. Like, you won't do that to her. I'm like, you can't disrespect her like that. So like, I'm trying to like get more notches in the positive column than in the con column. And we'll just see how that goes. Hopefully I can just keep filling it up.
That's awesome. And that's the last word. I want to thank you all for being here. This is the Receipts with Davon Williams, how to be an ally. All the questions that I had were not from me. These were inboxed to me from white men who wanted to be allies and didn't know what to do. We just framed them a little differently. So thank everyone who was brave enough to send something. I will never tell your identities, and everything is new. I hope you learned something today. Have a good one.
Yay!
Not yay.